Welcome to the UX Design Show. I am your host, Emanuel Jr. And today I want to bring you guys a breakdown of the trailer for the InVision Studio app that's going to release January 2018. I gave you guys a quick news about it dropping on Wednesday. Today I want to break down the actual trailer, teaser trailer itself, sort of like a movie, and go through each individual screen to see what we can learn about this app before it releases in January. They will have early access. Go to the link in the description, click on that, get their early access so you guys can play along with me when it finally releases. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's hit this play button here. Wow, that's really cool. Alright, so I'm going to pause it right here. Let's look at this. So as you can see, you have layers, you have your artboard, so that's going to be the different screens, and they're all in one area, and it seems as if when it plays you get those on a stay there. In Adobe XD they do not. When you start selecting items, they do not stay in the same place. If you select off the artboards, your layers will disappear, so it looks as if as you move around the application that will not be the case. So that is good news already. Another thing I want to point out is that they're giving us the dark background. I have all of my Adobe programs set to dark to where I can just work at night if I have to work late nights, even during the daytime, because the screen messes with my eyes so much. It's really cool that this has a dark background from the jump, so I'm really happy about that. I don't have to worry about it being so bright and light on my eyes. Also too, you can see some other things here. You got some standard things here. So this is clearly the layer selected. Not exactly sure what this icon does, but here clearly is the zoom level. They're at 83.9%. There's some other standard icons up here. Actually, I'm not sure what these two are, but this is very simple. Cut, copy, and paste. Actually, not cut, copy, paste. This is merging. So in Illustrator, if you want two vector objects to merge or to cut into them, you can do that. That's kind of what this is here. I forget exactly what the tool is called, but they have that option here, so that's good. So you can do basically some version of clipping and different things with your selection options. And then of course you can play your prototype. You can export that prototype. I'm pretty sure that's what that's for. Same thing that you have in Adobe XD, and then you have your alignment tools. I like the fact that the font on the menus are bigger. This makes it way more scannable than any other application. The fact that these are so big and you can see exactly what they are. You can just glance over here and see those items. So you'll see that throughout this video that the font sizes are a lot bigger, so it's easier to scan through it. Even on the layers here, the fonts are a little bit bigger. So let's play a little bit. As you can see, this panel changes as you select different items. Here, when they have the text selected, still have the big studio in front of us here, but right now text is selected on the screen, and you see the font is Poppins. The size of it is medium, and then you have the actual size of the font itself, line, letter. You can alter the height as well, as long as left, right, center, and justified, auto, and fixed. This is underline, strike through. This is awesome because in Adobe XD you do not have all of these options for text. You just don't. This is just great. And then also too, you can blend that text if you want to very closely to like Photoshop, where you can kind of just play around with the different options and fade things out and blend things in and make them seem more realistic or kind of just stand out on top of the image itself. So you have a ton of options there. Another thing I want to point out here, you have interactions. Very similar to Extra, where you can do, you can also design and prototype at the same time. You're going to have some of those same features in this application. Although this looks a little cleaner, we will have to see how far they go as far as the type of interaction that you can perform. So let's go past this a little bit. And as you can see, we're starting to get some different things here. So this is an object, this circle is selected. You see here there's inside strokes, You have the weight options, very similar to Illustrator, so that's cool. Shadows, inner shadows, and then interactions again. So you're getting a lot of good mix of Illustrator, Photoshop, and they're taking the best parts of Illustrator and Photoshop. These are the cool things about Illustrator, being able to change a stroke, having different types of stroke, being able to control the weight of that stroke. So this is really, really good. Also too, you can choose where you want to start and pinpoint your alignments, so you can change it around. It doesn't have to always be centered. You can make it from the top left or the top right. So that's really, really good. So let's go back here a second. So you can also edit vectors as well. You can take out parts of this circle if you want to. As you can see, this was a complete pink circle. They're able to go through the points and delete them so they can create basically a chart graph out of this. And you have even more precise point control here of the different vectors. So that is really neat. So here someone's playing with the opacity of this bar as they put it up. So that's really cool. As you can see, as they select items, the layers panel here moves right along with it, so that's really neat. Now this is some of the cool stuff. Being able to put the spacesuit image in here, which is from Elon Musk, new design of what NASA and the different astronauts will wear when they go into space, which is so dope. This is nice here. So this is what I want to talk about, this color panel. The color panel works very much like Photoshop without having to go to the gradient tool. This is going to be something that's built into the color panel. You can select your color here. You can drag and move around these points. You can completely alter the colors here, throw in different colors if you want to. RGB, hex. This is really, really neat, and it has multiple ways of controlling that gradient, so it doesn't have to always be linear. You could do something that comes from the inside out. You could do a radial linear. So this is really, really good when you think about all the different design options that you're going to have. Also, too, that blending, you'll be able to blend these gradients. This is really, really neat that they're adding this in here. Another thing I want to show you on the next screen here as it goes through, responsive by design. This is going to be one of those things that we're going to really, really enjoy about this, and also to extra tries to do this. But I feel like the way they're showing this in the video is way more fluid than what actually gives us. So as you saw right there, you can go from a mobile screen, slide it out, and those elements, I don't know if there's some pre-planning that you have to do with those elements, but they automatically turn into a tablet desktop format. That is fantastic to be able to just kind of drag that and see the responsiveness of it. And the image also goes along with it as well. Here, if you notice, these are elements on the page. He's dragging and pulling it down, and everything below it shifts in place. That is nice. That is really, really nice to actually see and demonstrate that responsiveness. A lot of times people will always ask you, well, how is it going to work? How it is going to look? You'll now be able to just showcase that to them, and that is beautiful. This is another thing I like. So they drag the element over, cool changes. This is getting into developer stuff, but for designers can now work on one document, and I can make a change here, and ultimately everyone will have that change as soon as I pull changes. And it seems like right here, you can leave a note, increase size icon, and thin out the stroke. So you can tell them exactly what you did, let them know what happened. It also tells you the last time this file was updated, and also too what happened yesterday. This is really, really good. This is great. I love the fact that you're gonna have all of these different types of options, be able to pull changes very similar to how developers do with GitHub. That is really, really cool. Boom, it's updated. You now have the updated file. Rapid prototyping. All of this here is very similar to Adobe XD. The ability to just drag and drop different elements, being able to click here to go there, being able to select this to go there, as you can see, and then you hit that play button, and like I said earlier, that's to preview your prototype. Basically, you'll be able to just see that prototype and watch it play out and click on it. Even that circle is very, very reminiscent of Adobe XD. Having that circle there, that's kind of become the standard now for when anytime someone's showcasing a prototype, it's a nice big graphic to kind of showcase it. Now, advanced animation. This is neat. This is now getting to the interactions panel. So this person has this artboard selected. They're able to say, you know what? I want to motion this, and then I want to change the duration of it. I want to change the curve, ease, both. You can get really, really specific with your animations. I'm not sure if this tops Marvel or Pop in the animation department, but I believe it does. I believe you have a lot of these options. I'm not sure if this option is there. It's been a while since I've done it. But the fact that you can move these points like in Illustrator to control how the animation is going to work, very similar to how Flash does things when you do a motion tween. This is really, really good. Really, really good. So they change the duration, they change those points there, hit done, and then when it plays out, you get some really smooth, really slick animations. I mean, that is nice. And then of course, you can share and export this. They're gonna do something very similar to what Action does. We're basically gonna have an area, or like InVision. I mean, this is what they're known for, having an area where people can kind of see stuff. They can collaborate. As you can see, the different names, it indicates that different people made suggestions on this file. So Megan, Charles, Alice, and David, they all have something to say about the Get Started and Welcome page. This is kind of like explore, edit. You can add text, pictures, and it looks like that may be some sort of eraser. So you have all of those different options there, and it goes right back to what InVision is basically known for. And then you can circle that with your mouse. He made a little line there at the end to kind of demark that he wants to pay attention to this area here. That's something that David cares about. And then it plays on, and now you can see those different areas. This is a totally different approach from what we've been exploring. I'm loving it. How's everyone feeling? And then now you can get that instant feedback. Another thing I like about this is that if you want to resolve issues on design, you can now say mark as resolved. You can actually track what was agreed upon in the design on the fly. A couple of applications do this already, but it's really neat that you're going to be able to do this in this application, that they've already thought about having that in there. So that's really, really good. Here we go. I missed this as it flew by. There's an application I've been pushing with my company called Zeppelin. Zeppelin, and when you select different elements, you can upload sketch files to Zeppelin. It's a web-based application. They also have a downloadable PC Mac application that lets you upload sketch files. You can also upload stuff from Adobe XD, but you have to convert it in Sketch to an SVG and load it through Sketch. So basically, it only works with Sketch. But anyway, you can select different objects in that program, and it will give you the code. So if someone wants to code that element, they can literally just copy the code that Zeppelin gives them and throw it directly into that document, and it is done. So it seems like you're gonna have the exact same thing here. It's gonna have the CSS, the JavaScript for the animation. All of that stuff is gonna be already written, and then you'll be able to just copy that code. So that is the application based on the trailer breakdown itself. I know this video is kind of long, but I really believe that this is going to be a super powerful tool. I love using Adobe XD. I think the prototyping is really fun. One of the features I would like to see with this program, the ability to save your prototypes. I like Axure for that reason. The fact that you can just save your prototypes and keep them for yourself. You don't have to use the Axure if you don't want to. You can upload them to your server. I think that's really important if you don't want to put everything behind their particular firewall and on their server. It's so good for that. So hopefully they'll think about having an offline viewing feature of their prototypes. Other than that, I'm very, very excited to see what happens with this application. So that's it for the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter. And if you're new around here, please subscribe to the UX Design Show. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.